Hi, I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing, and this is Power to Sing Live. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast and hope that if you have any questions, that you can go ahead and enter those in below in the broadcast area here. I just want to do a quick check if anyone is on right now. There's one person watching, just to let me know that you can see and hear okay. I'm pretty sure that you can hear me. I just want to make sure that you can, or I'm pretty sure you can see me. I just want to make sure you can hear me. All right, so while I'm verifying you can hear me, then I want to do a little bit today, announce
All
the,
right. So
I think we're good. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? The title of the broadcast is singers, how great singers get get the wow factor. And and this is something that we all want as singers. We really want to be able to wow the audience. You know, we don't want to just be good, and we want the audience to say wow after they hear us sing. Well, that's a pretty powerful thing, and that's the reason why we all perform, isn't it? Isn't it? We want to move the audience. We want to really motivate and excite them, and so I think it's really about connection. I think it's about reaching, finding our heart and sharing it with others and connecting with their hearts, and we just have this amazing interaction. All of a sudden, this connection. You've if you've performed at all, you've felt it, and it's what I think is what drives me more than anything else as a performer. I like to do musical theater, and being on stage and feeling the audience tuned into my every motion, my every walk, my every motion, my every expression, and then to be able to sing and to have them connect with the song and with the emotion of the song. I don't know, it's something wonderful. And you know what it's like. And if you don't know what it's like, you want to know what it's like. You want to be able to experience that. So I think it's about the audience feeling the real you, feeling their inside, the real heart. So feeling your emotions, feeling the truth coming from you, feeling and understanding your story. So of course you have to have good, solid vocal technique. But and it looks like I'm collecting some questions here. I'll be getting to those in a minute, and hopefully there's maybe some about the actual topic today. But if not, that's okay. I can field and address some of these other questions too. So technique needs to be solid. We need to be able to. Why does technique have to be solid? Because you don't have confidence. If you don't have confidence, then you're always thinking, instead of thinking about the story and the words and the feeling and the emotion, which we're going to talk about, you're worried about the note that's coming up. You know, you're worried about the high note you're not going to be able to hit, or you're concerned about how you sound or what other people are thinking and so forth. So that's why the technique is so vital. And we want to be able to get to we want to be able to get to our own heart quickly and then to share that with the audience. So how do you do that? How do you move your audience so that when you're done they say, wow, wow. um, I just realized I don't have a quote here that I thought I might share, but I'll tell you, basically I'll tell you what it is. It's a quote from Michael Shurtleff, who wrote the book Audition. It's about auditions, but it's a great book on acting. It's a great book on, and singers are actors, so it's a great book on singing as well. And he basically said that the audience is far less concerned about the perfectly sounding round vowels that were the singers singing and so forth, is much more concerned about getting this emotional connection, this relationship with the singer. He said most singers don't, which is why they're dull and lifeless, concerned, as it were, with pear-shaped round vowels and so forth. And so his his argument was, or his point that he was making, is that it's about emotion. It's about the relationship with the audience. It's about connecting with those persons that you're singing to. So, how do we get to that? First of all, vocal technique has to be solid, and it has to be invisible. We can't even be thinking about it. It has to be second nature. And this gives you confidence in your voice, so that now all it's about is the art of it, the truth of it, the story, the feeling, the emotion of the song. You lose yourself in the song. You place yourself in it, and then you share your heart. And that's the exciting part. You share what's on the inside, deep inside. So how do we do that? One simple word: lyrics. Yes, it's the words. And if anything, if I have a weakness, and if I had a weakness through the years, it's this: not focusing in on the lyrics of the song. And there's some real magic to this. We need to find the deep meaning and feeling that's behind the lyrics. It's a part of the lyrics. It's in the lyrics. Whether you wrote them yourself or whether the song was written by someone else, we need to find that. Now, um, so we need to analyze. Excuse me. So here's what we do. We want to we want to take each word, and I did this exercise one time under a director who was helping, and I was in the ensemble at the moment, and we were trying to discover how, as an ensemble, we could bring deep feeling and emotion to our audience. And and so the exercise we did was something like this. We took a sentence of the lyric, and we took the first word of the sentence, and taking that word, we asked ourselves, what emotion does this bring inside? What feeling do I have about that one word? What thought does it generate? What experience have I had personally with that one word? And then I would write that down, and we go to the second word and write that down, the third word, and pretty soon the entire sentence. What does that mean for me in that sentence? And with each sentence and then each paragraph, putting together feelings and emotions that when I sang those words, I could feel it, I could visualize it, I could go there in my mind and in my heart. Now, excuse me. Let's take this for a second. I've got an example of this. I want to. I'm just going to take a simple song. I don't even know really what the rules are today. I think I've got to be careful about whether they're copyrighted and so forth. So I'm going to go to a a song that's entitled, and I've used this in some of my videos, "Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen." On Wikipedia, it says that it's a. Let me just clear that out for a second here. Get that lower third out of the way. It's a spiritual song. It's based on during the period of slavery, the slaves in America would sing. They had a number of songs, and this was one of them. "Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen." And let's take, for just an example here, a few of these words and analyze them. Now let me see if I can increase the size of this so that we can have a better view on screen. Let's just take, for example, let's just take one line. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. So if we just take one word, just one word, let's just take nobody. What is one? What does the word nobody generate in your mind and in your heart? If you've ever been alone, if you've ever felt isolated, if you've ever felt maybe you felt betrayed, or you've felt neglected, or you've felt abandoned, nobody. So the word nobody itself can generate some really deep feelings. Let me see here. I'm not sure you're getting my. Excuse me just a minute here. Let me make sure that I've got the right image here for you. I think maybe I expanded it and we weren't looking at the right words together. So let me try that again. Sorry about that. All right, so that should be better. You can see the word nobody there. Now, then you would go, so write down the feelings, write down the moment, write down the memory of that time when you felt alone. Analyze that and feel it. What did you feel like? What was the emotion you felt? Going on to the next word, nobody knows. So what does the word knows mean? Well, knows connotates knowledge, experience, a memory, an event, something that has been embedded into your mind that now, as a result of that, you know it. So now you take those two words, nobody knows. Where does this lead your emotion? Where does this lead your feeling? Nobody knows the trouble. Not sure I would dwell on but the trouble. So what kind of trouble have you personally experienced in your life? What kind of difficulty? What kind of sorrow? What kind of event in your life was very troubling, or where you were in trouble, or there was trouble all around you and you were feeling this emotion of it? Maybe you got in trouble as a youngster. Maybe you've been in trouble with a friend or a spouse, or maybe you were in trouble at work. Maybe your life was in peril. So you again find some experience where you can relate to that word. Nobody knows, excuse me, the trouble I've seen. So what have you seen? That nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Now you can add to that things you've actually visualized. Now, you could go, and you should go through every word in your lyric and find the deep meaning for you personally. Now, if you can't find meaning in the lyrics, this is where you have to be an actor. You have to pretend that you're someone else and find their deep feeling and their deep meaning. This is one reason why it's a good idea to have, when I'm working with young children singing, I like to try and find songs that are age appropriate, meaning if they're singing about love and they're singing about going to the bar or scratching the outside of the car or whatever. I'm thinking of one of the country western songs. If they're singing, it means nothing to them, right? They don't even drive. They've never been on a date. They've never fallen in love with somebody that's outside of their parents or their cat or whatever. So age appropriate. If you've never experienced it, then maybe you need to choose a different song. You want to find songs that mean something to you. But there are some times in some character roles I've had, for example, where I had to put myself in the character of that person. Like, let's just say Fagin from Oliver. He's talking about being a crook. Well, I've never stolen anything, but there's still the emotion of a man's got a heart, doesn't he? And he's trying to figure out whether he should go straight or not, or whether give up the life of crime. And So he's going through all these different emotions, and you, as an actor, you have to put yourself in the position of that person. You have to take their backstory. You have to. So in the case of this Fagin character in the book Oliver, he's really a criminal. The movie makes him much nicer than he really is, but he kidnaps young boys and puts them on the street, forces them to go steal for him, and then he'll pay them with food, basically, in a uh, uh, place to sleep. You got to become that person, and then imagine what those emotions and feelings are, and then maybe you could feel. Oh, one time I felt undecided about what I wanted to do. Bring that feeling into it. So there, the point is, there's some work that you've got to do with the lyrics and the meaning in order to really get to find some deep feeling and emotion there. And then you, the next step is you have to have the courage. If you're going for the wow, and this is again in any song you're singing, if you're going for the wow, then it takes personal courage to allow yourself to express it. Now, personally, I have to be careful because if I get too emotional, I start to cry or something, and then my larynx goes through the roof of my mouth. I mean, I can't sing when I'm crying. Some people, I'm amazed, they can just cry and be singing along, but I can't do that. So I have to there's a barrier that I can't cross, and I can't lose control. But I can find so much emotion and feeling in a song. If I can find so much emotion and feeling in a song, then my audience can find it too. They can feel it. And we connect. We connect on an emotional level. We connect on a relationship level. People are relating to it because everyone's had these emotions and feelings of some form or another. And this is where people are transfixed, they're transformed. They forget about the fact that you're singing and you take them to a new place. And then when it's all done, all they can say is, wow. All right, so this is the secret. It's the lyrics. And so once you've got your technique down, once you've got your confidence in your technique and a confidence in your voice, then, and even if you don't, frankly, even if you don't have technique and confidence and courage to share, if you'll just lose yourself in the lyrics a lot of times, that takes everything, that takes all these other doubts and fears away. One of the number one tips I could give you as you go in, let's say, to audition or try out for something in a song, if you can focus so fully and completely on the lyrics and what it means to you, your performance becomes automatically better. You don't have to. You don't even have to be right on. I've attended some performances where I could actually hear that the person wasn't even on pitch, but because it was such a powerful emotional moment, I didn't care. I was so moved by it. There's a lot of professional singers like that. You'll hear them; they're not quite on, but if they're connecting, you're connecting emotionally. We don't care. You're hearing that from a voice teacher. Of course, we want to be the best we can vocally. Okay, so the better you can do that in combination with a solid vocal technique and a willingness to let us see into your heart, the more success you're going to have as a singer, and the greater will be your connection to your audience and the greater joy and fulfillment you're going to have as a singer. And that's why it gets addictive. You just want to come back and do more and more and more because it's such a high. It's such an amazing experience. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so that's my message. Focusing on the lyrics. But we're going to close here in a moment. Before I do, I want to just address a question or two that you may have sent me. Good, thank you. Havlock, you said the quality is good, and that's great. Let me see if I can get to this first question. When I hit high notes, my larynx hurts. How can I minimize that? But my vocal is improving, except for the high notes. All right. So there really shouldn't be any pain. There shouldn't be no pain. And now that's not to say that the larynx doesn't feel like you haven't been working out or something. Like if you do some exercise, especially at first. But generally speaking, if someone's larynx is aching or hurting in exercises, I'm thinking they're probably doing it too hard. That's number one. So don't do it so loud or so hard, so much intensity. Back off on volume. Take it a little bit easier in the exercises. In the songs, if the larynx is hurting, then it's very possible that the larynx is going up. So the larynx is being pulled up. And so short of actually hearing what's going on in the singer, I can only guess that it's the high larynx. So if I have, it's possible the vowel is going wide. So let's just say I'm singing, Why God, Why This Face from Miss Saigon, and I said, why? If I was way too wide, well, I can pull an F or an F sharp. It's not going to hurt so bad. But there was a day when if I tried to pull the chest voice up and hike my larynx, why God, it hurt. So step number one is you've got to keep the larynx down, and that's easier said than done. So again, it goes back to exercises. So one way to do this immediately, lower the larynx, is do this dopey sound. If you put your hand here in your Adam's apple and say duh with a dopey sound, duh, you can feel the larynx drop. If you say duh, it's just sitting there. But if you say duh, a real stupid sound, then it pulls the larynx down. And so you might want to go back on that high note, and instead of and just substitute it and say gee, 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 gee. So that's, now the larynx is down a little bit. Gee, 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 gee. Why? Now I'm going to do it dopey. Why God, why this face? Well, it's not necessarily where I'm going to sing it, but I may want to practice it that way for a while until I can do it without the larynx going up. Also, that's number one. Number two is I may have to watch the vowel. If I'm saying why, I'm spreading the vowel. So I would be more of a why God, and the word God is easy to spread. So if I said why God, it's still going to pull the larynx up. It's going to start to hurt. So, or it could start to hurt. So I would want to, why God, I want to more towards G, W. Why God, why God, why this face? And instead of saying face, let's say face, F-E, C-E. Why? So it's W-U-H, why God, why this face? And you can hear a difference between that and why God, why this face? One is chest, pulled up larynx, and it's going to hurt. The other is the larynx is down. The vowels are somewhat narrowed, so that it's helping keep the larynx down, and it's so much easier on my voice. So that's a quick answer to a long answer to a quick question. But that's one approach, is get the larynx down. You can use the dopey sound, then substitute that with the words as I showed, and then go back to it and see if you can't do the words the same way. Well, I don't want to make this this go on so long here. Let me just see. I'm getting some feedback that the video had frozen. I hope that it's unfroze. Okay. Others are saying video's okay. Anyone else have frozen? Okay. No, I'm having clear screen. All right. So thank you. Sid, belting from chest to head voice, exercises and techniques to get better. Well, I don't teach people to belt because usually they're meaning that that's kind of just pulling up their chest voice. So rather than teaching someone to just belt higher and higher, I teach them to bridge into their head voice. And that's the secret to that is the bridge of the voice. So what has to happen as we sing into our head voice, there has to be a narrowing of vowels. Let's just say, for example, I'm on ah. Ah. I don't narrow that vowel from to ah, ah, then it's going to pull my chest. And in many schools, in many ways of speaking, many people, when they say they belt, they're just going to pull up the chest voice. There's an ending to that, you see, because you can't keep going. Ah, and then it's going to crack sometime. But if I narrow that so that the resonance will shift into my head and it splits off, part of the resonance will split off into my head. Ah, ah, ah. It's just staying down here in my mouth. But if I narrow the vowel from to well, that's the high C. But so that wasn't perfect. I'm not warmed up, and so on and so on. But the vowel has to narrow in order for us to get through that bridge. So that's how you end up getting up there. So eventually, at first it's not easy. It doesn't sound strong, but eventually you can do it. So that's the high C, fairly strong. A lot of people would say I was in chest, but that wasn't. That was a mix of chest and head. So that's what has to happen in order to get up into that area without it just really killing you. Good, thank you. I'm an acting student, and it's helped extremely. Just thank you. I appreciate that. Actors, singers must be actors. And I think the great actors also can sing, even if they're vocally not as maybe accomplished. If they're a good actor, then it's going to work. It's going to sell, and people are going to feel it. So, okay. What other questions here? If one is really bad with keys, what should be a good exercise? Sorry, I've already been answered. Sorry, Jess, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by keys. If one is really bad with keys, maybe you're saying like with a pitch. If you have a hard time finding the key or finding the pitch, then there are a lot of apps now online, free apps and free websites that will do at least a basic level of ear training. And ear training is what we're really talking about, so that when you hear the pitch, your voice, you can match the pitch. Ah, but if I'm playing a note and I'm singing ah, then we've got to be able to hear, oh, I'm not on pitch, and I have to adjust that. And it needs to happen like that, pretty instantaneous. Sometimes pitch problems are because we can't get through the bridge of the voice, and so we go flat as we approach the bridge. And so that's a part of overall vocal training, vocal technique, where, as I demonstrated just a second ago, you can get into the bridge and up through the bridge into your head voice. And then all of a sudden you don't have a pitch problem or a key. You can hit the right key. Now let me see. Thin vocal cords is the same of head voice configuration. As the pitch goes higher, the vocal cords must eliminate some of the vibrating mass. If the mass of the cord structure doesn't reduce, if the mass isn't reduced, if the cords don't thin, then you're going to be carrying the weight of the chest-voice coordination up higher and higher and higher. And that sounds like that sounds like pulled chest. So there was no thinning, there was no elimination of the vibrating element, of the vibrating mass. But if I allow that to happen by letting the resonance shift into my head and narrowing the vowel a little bit, then I've eliminated the vibrating mass as I've gone through the bridge up into my head voice. Without that elimination, I get stuck in chest, or I have to keep pulling and keep straining the chest voice higher and higher until it just breaks apart into falsetto. Ah! Or you get this flip in and out. Ah! So anyway, all right. Well, thank you very much. I hope that this has been helpful and interesting, and all the best to you. From my perspective, this is a very, very powerful way to get your audience to say, "Wow." If you don't know your vocal type, and we've a little bit about pulled chest, high larynx, and so forth. Of your vocal type is what you tend to do when you sing higher. If you tend to pull your chest voice higher, do you flip or crack? Do you pull chest voice? Do you go really light and breathy? You can go to powertosing.com, and powertosing.com, there on the home page, you're able to. I'm just going to let me bring this down in size. You see, so you can see the whole page here. Let me see. I need to go even smaller. Let me just give me a second here. Okay, so you go to the home page, and here's something called the power test. You can see it here, the power test. And what you do is you hit the record button, and then you come over here. It's recording now. You come over here and you play men or women. If you're women, and then you would hit this radio button here, and if you're men, you come up here and you hit this thing, and then you play this. And,
gentlemen,
I give some instructions there, so you play it. Let me do the women's. I don't give instructions on it. And you sing ah. There's a video here explaining how to do it. You sing ah, then you stop the recording, and then you come down here. You can listen to it over and over again, and you answer the quiz. And depending on the questions and how you answer them, you send the answers, submit the answers, and in an email you'll get your vocal type. So then once you find out your vocal type, you come here and you can click here to learn about it. But I recommend you go to the Knowledge Center. In the Knowledge Center, you have 4 major areas where you can find out. Let's just say it's pulled chest, high larynx. You click on this page here, and you're able to watch videos. I explain everything in detail. What is pulled chest, high larynx? And here are exercises that will help your vocal type not to do that, so that you can bridge into your head voice. And then here's some professional singers who pull their chest voice. About 6 of these examples have had vocal surgery already, or have had hemorrhages or something. And then there are free exercises that you can download and then work on those, and that's going to help you. So you're actually able to download the exercises right to your computer. You can put it on your smartphone and have them with you to practice and so forth. So I give you a precise example of. I tell you on those 3 videos, I let you know exactly how to do those exercises. So go and get your vocal type, and then download those free exercises and start working on those. So I just want to say thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be with you today, and please let me know. You can make other comments after this is over, or comment on the vlog, powertosing.com, what other questions you might have. Thank you, and all the best to you. Have a great day.